All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hey, it's got power.
Power.
It's got a lot of power.
I have been looking forward to this car.
Okay.
This is the 2025 Civic Sport Touring Hybrid. Okay, that's all the throttle.
But it's not
This
disappointing.
car, it's not disappointing at all. And the reason I'm excited is because we love the Civic Si. We love the 11th generation Civic in all of its forms.
True,
Whether
true.
it's the Si, the Type R, the base with the CVT, and now the Sport Touring Hybrid. This hybrid is like the Volt.
Yep.
We've been talking about hybrids in general, and hybrid, the word in and of itself conjures up a similarity among cars.
True. Yeah, you think you know what that means. Yes.
Correct. But this is really an EV with a gas motor attached, just like that Volt that we really liked years ago.
Yeah.
And so what that means is most of the time it's driving around in EV mode and it has a direct drive to the transmission.
Yep.
There is no CVT. There is no transmission.
Yep.
So that means it's quieter. It's one of the quietest cars. It's quiet like an EV.
Yep. Yep.
It's not quiet like a gas engine or just like a Civic. It's really impressive. And the power this thing makes, it has more torque than the Civic Si.
Wouldn't that crazy? Yeah.
Still, 200 horsepower, same as the Si,
Yep.
and 232 pound-feet of torque.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive. Road trips, comparisons, test drives, and podcasts. This is Everyday Driver.
So you don't get a tack anymore, but what you do get is a nice percentage of power being used tactile gauge.
And there's a combination, and I can't even describe it to you properly. There's a combination which, if you ask for everything at the exact right moment when the moon is in the proper phase, then it will actually have some of that gasoline motor being helped drive the wheels, which the Volt was the same way. Most of the time, it's essentially direct-driven electric motor with a gasoline motor on board as a generator, and you've already said it. It is fast, it is quiet, it just works.
It just works. I have so been looking forward to this, and I am right. I love this thing. I think it is the right. It drives sportily.
It does.
It has 4 different drive modes down here. It's got Econ, Normal, Sport, and Individual mode. Honda's been listening to their customers.
Yep.
There's only one thing that is holding me back.
Okay.
Because this is a commuter and you spend a long time sitting in the seats, the driver's seat lumbar is not good.
Neither of the seats are great.
The seats are not good. I imagined this car with the seats out of the Type R.
I'm sure they'd bolt in if you wanted to go crazy.
I'm sure they do. Can you imagine if this hybrid and you discovered, not in red, not in that red cloth,
well, let's back off a step.
Discovered those seats in here. You thought, well, I'm going to spend a ton of time because it's my commuter hybrid and I've got excellent seats. That's what they need to put in here, and that would make it pretty much perfect.
The SI has better seats. Maybe you get those to go in.
Or the SI seats, yes.
Maybe you could do the Acura Integra Type S seats in this.
I would welcome
there you go.
Pretty much any other seat but these.
Better performance seat. Yeah, I get that.
You'd think they would realize you're going to be spending all the time commuting because this thing gets 50 in the city, 47 combined. It's excellent fuel economy. I think some people will see just under 600 miles range out of this thing. It's astounding. But the cool part is it has the torque like an EV. It's quick like an EV, and it's quiet, but you get all that range.
And you very rarely, only when that perfect combination, when everything is running, does it even have a kind of whiny groan that you get all the time in most hybrids, because most of them are pushing it through a CVT, which this doesn't have.
Right.
So you get away from that rubber band moany thing that all CVTs do, and it's just car now.
It's just car.
And you forget about what the propulsion system is. It's irrelevant.
Exactly right. You've just got the power. You would be reminded if you didn't have the power. But since you do,
it's true. Yeah.
Under full throttle acceleration, the engine is screaming at you.
Yep.
But any car would be. It's not the best sounding 4-cylinder, but who cares? The fact that it has all the power and slightly more than an SI, and it only weighs like a couple hundred more pounds. which is impressive.
Full hybrid version, the heaviest it gets compared to other models is 300 pounds heavier. Between 200 and 300 pounds heavier, depending upon the trims you're comparing. Which the reality of that is it's still a low 3,000 pound car. That's the key point.
It's like 32, just over 3,200 pounds.
That's amazing. Most cars that we find, especially if they have batteries on board, are pushing close to 4,000 pounds. This is close to 3. That is the big victory of this, and you feel it in everything you do. Even from the passenger side, you can tell this is a light car that isn't having to labor against a bunch of weight. The fact that it weighs 3,200 and change at all, and it has the word hybrid on it, it may as well be a lightweight Lotus product. That's astounding to me.
That's funny you say that, because with this car, I kind of want to do to this what you and I did to the Prius.
I see that.
I want to put the Civic Si or Type R seats in this.
Yeah.
And I want to put the performance tires from either of those cars on this car and kind of see what she'll do. Actually, I want to see, again, like with the Prius, how much MPG we actually lost.
I bet a few.
And if it would be worth coming up with a trim package. Honda says, you can have it like this, but instead of the Sport Touring, it would just be the Sport, even though the Sport already exists.
I don't know why it's Sport and Touring hybrid.
They should have left the Sport
weird.
out. Sport Touring should have been performance wheels and tires and the good seats, because this thing does hang on.
I bet you'd still get 45 miles per gallon.
Which I think people would buy.
Why not?
If you could have a performance hybrid,
yes, I like that a
with
lot.
the amount of space for this price and this efficiency all in one car.
That's a great point. I think
it's approaching modern perfection in cars.
It does do all the things. I agree with that. And I was surprised, as weird as it sounds, to see that the actual trim of this was listed as the Sport Touring Hybrid. And I was like, can we pick one? I agree with you. Let's make the Sport Hybrid actually mean something, and Touring Hybrid mean less aggressive. That would be these seats, these wheels.
Yes.
Sport Hybrid would be the killer seats, and the lighter, more performance wheels and tires, you'd lose a little bit. I bet you it would still be 45 miles to the gallon, which would be amazing.
Hey, look.
Yep.
It's brethren.
Yes, there it is.
Cool.
The interesting thing about this hybrid system is that this is the 11th gen Civic, which we have liked in every possible trim.
Yes.
The 10th gen Civic didn't have a hybrid at all.
Yep,
it's been gone.
Right.
It was on the 9th. It's now on the 11th. It was gone completely on the 10th. This is the same hybrid technology they're putting other places like the Accord. You hear hybrid and you think Toyota's system because it's been so many places. This is their system. It's different and it works great.
This system is available in either the sedan or the hatchback. The front end styling has been revised slightly. I think everything about this, even though it is a kind of a boring car, it's a Civic. But as Civics go, the 10th generation was so aggressive, it wasn't for everyone. And I think they went too far, especially on the base model. This car just looks good.
It does.
From every angle, it just is handsome. It looks good. It doesn't look cheap. Nothing about this feels cheap. On the inside, it has the fantastic Civic interior that we absolutely love.
Yes.
The joystick vents, the easy-to-read controls, everything falls to hand, the great driving position, quality materials. Nothing about this car feels $32,000. If I told you this was $37,000, $38,000, you'd probably believe me.
You'd be fine with it. You'd be like, yeah, and?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, here's the thing. We have been in cars with a 4 on the front, in the $40,000 range, where these knobs and stuff weren't as nice.
Yes.
So this has a wonderful feeling. It feels like, and it's not quite this far, but it feels like Honda was looking at early 2000s Audi for their reference. It's not quite that nice, but it looks like
it's not quite there, but
when Audi was doing really nice knobs and everything was very clean but still felt modern, with the possible exception of this screen sticking up off the dash, it has that kind of influence. And it feels above its price point. 3,200 pounds for $32,000 for nearly 50 miles to the gallon. Those are big boxes to check.
And there is the same amount of interior space as all of the other Civics.
Which is a
lot. You don't lose any interior space.
Yep.
Okay, so you need to drive this, and you tell me, has Honda recaptured Honda magic, like what we define as S2000, NSX,
the late 90s,
90s generation of peak Honda? Are they starting to do it again, manifested in the Civic in all its forms, including the hybrid, and could this get better and better, more power, more torque, better for the price all the features we love, for as great as this car is, is Honda starting to get its mojo back?
I like this. I think
you tell me.
I feel it before I even drive it, but because we've driven. But I'm excited. Here we go.
The seat over here isn't that great either.
No, the seats aren't good. They're not good. They need to be better.
That's so disappointing.
They need to be better. Yeah.
I wish they were.
Well, and this is something that we've complained about in the Prius and in other hybrids of other companies, is if you're going to have a long-haul car, and you're going to have a car that's a commute car that is just, the number one thing you're going to do in it is sit still in traffic or creep, then the seats become paramount. And I do feel like there is a possibility here where these cars are $1,000 or $2,000 more, but the seats are superb. I don't think it would hurt how often they get sold. I think people would just keep buying them.
Agreed. If people discovered Type R seats in this thing,
that might be too far. But
it's
Civic,
totally too far.
SI would be great.
But that's the point. It's too far.
Yeah.
And here's what you get.
You've already talked about
fast.
this.
I'm
partial
awesome.
throttle, and I am gunning down traffic. Now you can hear kind of everything working, and it's a little bit drony and all that, which is fine. But the big thing that you cannot hide that Honda benefits from here is take any car you can think of, any trim you can think of. A car either has a good chassis or it doesn't.
Yep.
And if a car has a bad chassis, you can have the world's best suspension boffins work on it and try to make it right.
There's that
and it
word.
will still be just a little bit off.
Yeah.
But when a chassis is just, everything about it, it just naturally handles well, that is this 11th Gen Civic. Every version, from the CVT-plagued actual touring that we drove, all the way up to the Type R.
It was still good.
The chassis, the dynamics are naturally excellent. The wheelbase, the way the car rotates, it just feels excellent.
And that's just the Civic.
I totally agree. It's just the way the Civic works in general. And as much as all of us have praised the Type R is built on spectacular bones.
Yes, it is.
We threw all the extra stuff at a car that in its worst base form drives well. This is not the worst base form. It might be the version everyone should buy, because you are getting that SI capability and performance. You're not quite getting the sharpness, but you're getting the SI performance. You aren't getting a manual, which is a bummer for an SI, but we're talking about somebody buying a hybrid as a commuter. You get great gas mileage.
Great, it's superb.
You don't have to worry about having a CVT. But I am going down a windy part of Interstate 80 that we use for a lot of these test drives, and I am legitimately, I've put the fact that this car has to handle into the back of my mind. I don't even have to think about it, because I know it's just going to, whatever speed I'm going, this is going to be fine.
You can chuck it in.
It doesn't matter.
These are on eco tires.
We have to think about so many of the big vehicles that go down this road. We have to think about the speeds we're going. How is it going to do? I don't even care. This just handles. It would do anything you want, and all the way to the point that if you found yourself on a fun back road or your favorite cloverleaf or whatever, I hate to say this, but this hybrid will be fun. It'll be fun.
That's crazy.
And that's not something we normally associate with buy your cheap commuter. And as much as $32,000 is still serious money, in the modern car market, that's the bottom of the modern car market.
It is. That's a bargain.
That is a bargain.
And this is fully loaded.
Agreed. That is a bargain for what you get. This does everything. Rarely do I say that about a car that we drive.
I think Honda is so back with modern tech in its cheapest car. I think they're so back.
We like the Accord right now a lot. We like the Civic right now. We keep saying it in every single trim.
Yep.
They are doing really, really good work. And here's the other thing about this. I drive this car, and you know what I keep pondering when I drive any version of the Civic? Why on earth can't American manufacturers figure out a sedan of this size?
It's got so much space.
The other thing that is crazy is Honda's been the king of space for a while. Even when their cars were boring, they were still the kings of space. This has more rear seat space than most of the cars the class above it. I'm talking Alfa Giulia, I'm talking Genesis 270, I'm talking cars that are more expensive and a bigger car than this. This has better back seat space. That shouldn't happen. It's like some origami trick is going on in here, and I don't understand why no other manufacturer can figure out the space of the current Civic in a car this size. Oh, and by the way, drives well too. What's going on here?
Okay, so hopefully we've convinced you by now, which means when you are shopping for your Civic in any flavor, in any form, for the 11th generation, go to autotempest.com/everyday so they know we sent you. You can see new dealer inventory. You can see used cars. You can go back and look at any generation of the Civic. We love pretty much every iteration of the 11th gen Civic. autotempest.com/everyday. All the cars, one search. And imagine, if you will, a little experiment.
Yes.
Imagine a world where a Civic Sport Touring Hybrid gains a Type R wing, the performance wheels and tires, and the seats.
I wonder if Honda would send us one and we could play.
We're done. We're done.
I want to do the wheels and performance tires, and I'd like to do some alt seats. I'd settle for the SI seats.
I'd settle for the SI seats. We did like those.
Yep.
But these are, this is the big thing holding this car back.
It's not good enough.
It just isn't. So better seats. It's not like they're it could be better. There's not lumbar here.
And there's worthwhile handling on these eco tires. Imagine not improving the wheels and putting better performance tires
Better
on it.
performance tires. You don't even have to have the wing. How about the
No, the
Civic
wing
SI?
doesn't matter.
How about just the little lip spoiler?
The little lip. I prefer that. Let's make it subtle. But you'd be gunning people down. And then you could take, like, 4 of you could gun people down. That's the thing about it. Because you got EV torque.
For $32,000.
Yes. You and actual adults in the back seat can go gun people down on a back road and still get good gas mileage.
I like this so much.
I don't know how they've done it so well. I really don't.
Honda, great job.
Yes, I agree.
Honda's back. The seats are terrible. Put better seats in the hybrid and sell all of them.
Send us
Outsell
one.
Yes, please send us one.
We'll take one. We'll long-term this. We'll do all this stuff. We'll do the performance stuff. The same stuff we did with the Prius. Let's do it with this Civic Hybrid.
Yes.
I bet it would be even better than the Prius was. And we were just beginning to do stuff on that.
I still really want the giant wing on the hybrid.
You just want to have the hybrid badge and the wing and have people behind you confused as to which one does it deserve the wing or does it deserve the hybrid badge? The answer is yes.
Want on the hybrid on the side of the wing. I want that.